Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling a career that's, well, shrouded in a bit of mystery for those outside the real estate world. Title closers.
It's true, most people only interact with them briefly during a closing, but their role is so much bigger than that brief meeting. Thankfully, we've got RoleCatcher's insights to guide us.
Which is great, because their guides are known for cutting through the jargon and giving a real sense of the day-to-day, right?
Exactly. They highlight not just what the job is, but what makes someone successful in it, which is crucial for anyone considering this as a career.
And let's be honest, when you think about buying a home, probably the single biggest purchase in most people's lives, you want someone who knows their stuff, making sure it goes smoothly.
Absolutely, and that's where the title closer steps in. They're like the guardians of the closing process, making sure all the legal I's are dotted and like and crossed.
Okay, so not just about paperwork, but actually safeguarding the whole deal. Before we get into the details, can you walk us through what a typical real estate transaction even looks like? I feel like most of us only see the for sale sign and then the sold sign, not all the stuff in between.
Right. It's a whirlwind. So picture this. You found your dream home, made an offer, and it's accepted. Then the real fun begins. You've got the loan process with the lender, inspections to make sure everything is in order, appraisals to determine the property's worth.
Oh gosh, yeah, the appraisal. And there's probably mountains of paperwork too, right?
Oh, definitely. Contracts, disclosures, title documents. It can be overwhelming. And that's where our title closer comes in. They're working diligently behind the scenes to ensure everything is legally sound.
So they're like the calm in the middle of the storm, making sure the legal side of things doesn't derail everything.
Exactly. Their primary job is to examine the title to the property, making sure there are no hidden issues or claims that could pop up later and cause a huge headache.
Oh wow, that's a big responsibility. So they're not just checking if the address matches or whatever, they're really digging deep into the history of the property.
Yes. They're verifying that the seller actually has the right to sell the property, that there are no outstanding links from, say, unpaid taxes or contractor work, and that the title is free and clear for the new owner.
That is a lot more than I would have thought. So we've got examining titles, dealing with contracts, what else falls under their umbrella. Rollcatcher mentioned something about title insurance too.
Right. Title insurance is crucial. It acts as a safety net for both the buyer and the lender, protecting them from any potential title defects that might emerge even after the sale is finalized.
Wow, I didn't even know that was a thing. It's like an insurance policy for the legal history of your house.
Exactly. And the title closer plays a key role in facilitating that insurance policy, making sure everything is in order so it can be issued.
That's reassuring to know. It seems like a title closer needs to be incredibly detail-oriented. Are we talking someone who thrives on poring over spreadsheets and legal documents all day?
They definitely need to be comfortable with that. But it's more than just being good with paperwork. They have to connect the dots, spot discrepancies, and understand the implications of all those legal details. They're like detectives in a way.
So they need that sharp eye for detail.
Yeah.
What about the actual work environment? Rollcatcher dives into that, talks about industry trends, even breaks down the pros and cons of the job. What stood out to you from all that?
Well, when you picture a title closer, you might think stuffy law office, right? Stacks of paper everywhere.
Yeah, kind of like that old school lawyer stereotype.
Right. But while some of that might be true, especially at smaller firms, Rollcatcher really highlights how technology is changing the game.
So like online databases instead of those giant record books.
Exactly. Digital document management is huge now. Things like e-signatures, even virtual closings are becoming more common. A modern title closer needs to be tech-savvy too.
That's fascinating. It's not just legal knowledge anymore, but being comfortable with the tech side of things. But Rollcatcher also mentions the potential downsides, like long hours, especially around those closing deadlines, right?
They do. And it makes sense when you think about it. Coordinating between buyers, sellers, real estate agents, lenders, everyone's on a tight schedule.
It's got to be pretty high pressure at times. Not exactly a 9 to 5 punch the clock kind of gig.
Definitely not. But on the flip side, Rollcatcher emphasizes the stability and earning potential that comes with this field.
Which makes sense. Real estate isn't going anywhere, and someone who can navigate those complex legal waters is always going to be in demand.
Exactly. And as transactions become more complex, those skills are even more valuable. Often translates to good salary potential, job security, the works.
So you've got someone who thrives under pressure,
Yeah.
has that meticulous attention to detail, but is also adaptable to new technology. Sounds like a pretty unique combination.
It is. But RoleCatcher goes beyond those basic personality traits and delves into the specific skills that make a title closer truly excel.
Oh, like what? Give us the inside scoop.
Well, you've got the obvious. Strong grasp of real estate law, title insurance, all those legal intricacies. But they emphasize strong reading comprehension and not just skimming emails here.
Okay, yeah, more intense than your average reading, I'd imagine.
Think deciphering dense legal documents, catching inconsistencies, understanding the implications of every single clause and condition.
Yikes. One tiny detail missed could snowball into a huge problem later on.
Exactly. And along with that, they highlight active listening as crucial. Remember, you're the communication hub between buyers, sellers, agents, often stressed out and needing clear explanations.
It's like being a legal expert, a therapist, and a language whiz all at once.
You got it. Now, what's also interesting is that RoleCatcher doesn't paint it as a dead-end job. They talk about moving up to senior roles, managing teams, maybe specializing in commercial transactions.
So room for growth within the field itself. But you mentioned tech changing things. Could that create totally new opportunities too?
It could. Think about it. As blockchain and stuff like that becomes more common in real estate, you might have title closers who specialize in that, making sure those digital transactions are secure.
Wow, so the job itself is evolving. Pretty cool. But before anyone can specialize in anything, they got to land that first job, which usually means the interview.
The part everyone dreads. But don't worry, RoleCatcher's got a whole section on acing that title closer interview.
I was just thinking, even when you know you're qualified, interviews can still be nerve-wracking. So what kind of questions does RoleCatcher prep you for? Like, what do they actually ask title closers?
Oh, they go way beyond the generic stuff. Tell me your strengths.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the real deal. They give you scenarios like, how would you handle a difficult client who's dragging their feet on the closing process? Stuff you'd actually have to deal with.
Oh, that's smart. Gets you thinking on your feet.
Exactly. Or, you spot a discrepancy in the property taxes. What's your next move? They really make you think through the job.
It's like they've been in the room with hiring managers and know exactly what they're looking for.
That's the feeling I get. And they don't just throw the questions at you. They give you insights into what a strong answer would be,
Yeah.
Emphasize clear communication, problem solving.
Right, right. Because it's one thing to know the answer. It's another to actually articulate it well under pressure.
Totally. And remember those AI features we talked about earlier? Well, RoleCatcher uses them for interview prep, too. Imagine you practice your answers, record yourself.
Oh, right, right. They had that whole thing about AI feedback. So it actually critiques how you sound.
It does. Pacing, tone of voice, even body language if you're doing video. It's like having a coach in your pocket, helping you iron out any nervous habits.
That's wild. So it's not just what you say, but how you say it, which, let's be honest, can make or break an interview.
Huge. RoleCatcher really gets that. They understand the modern job market.
This whole deep dive has been amazing. We went from like a vague idea of what a title closer even is to understanding their crucial role, the skills needed, even how to nail that interview.
And RoleCatcher gives you the tools to actually do something with that knowledge.
Exactly. They've really thought of everything. So as we wrap up, here's a final thought for our listeners. Remember how we talked about technology changing real estate? Do you think that could lead to like brand new specializations within the title closer field? Like a virtual closing specialist or something?
Oh, that's a good one. It really highlights how this career path, while, it's been around forever, it's still evolving, those who can adapt are going to be in high demand.
Exactly. Who knows, maybe the next hotshot title closer is listening to this right now. If you're intrigued, definitely check out RoleCatcher's resources. You might just discover your dream career. Until next time, happy exploring.